Hi, this is little dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can, and I continue with Arx Fatalis blind. Now I'm pretty much at the end of the game. I have to face Akbaa and defeat him, but before I do, I want to make one last attempt at acquiring the finance book for the trolls. So let's go into the banker's house. I do believe is this house over here. So while I'm here, I guess I can try picking the other doors.
There you go.
Oh.
Who does he think he is?
I guess this is just a back door to the bank. I'm not interested in that. I just want the book. Wait. Where is his house? I think it's this one.
Not really a very successful attempt. I think I've damaged my tools. Not really a very successful attempt. There you go.
Okay. War of the Magi, I read that. Mysteries of Finance. It's much too boring to read. I am going to take it. I feel bad about it because it's stealing, so I will leave something behind, like a golden necklace. What else can be valuable enough to pay for that? A dark ring of magic resistance. Emerald. A diamond. Gemstone. Okay, I think that's enough. That's enough of an equivalent value to pay for that book. And with having acquired that, I'm going to give it to the trolls because they need it to learn how to trade the gemstones themselves and stop being exploited by the goblins, which is a very noble and a noble goal worthy of respect.
Book on sales and finance? Then me try and learn about finance and become clever. Soon, we not need goblins anymore.
I know you will make an astute salesman, Pog. After this, the goblins will despise me, but I want nothing to do with such an arrogant race.
You true friend of trolls.
Okay, so I wonder if the king of the goblins will have anything to say about this. Regardless, I feel like I've done a good deed, and I'm glad that I managed to do it before the end of the game.
Open the gate and let me pass.
I kinda just want to rub it in the Goblin King's face.
Me, important guard of Lord Alatar, stupid human! Look so stupid! Gemstone dealer, you look at goods. Gemstone dealer, you look at goods.
Apparently the goblins don't have anything to say about it, which is a bit weird and a bit disappointing, but regardless, that's pretty much it. I have nothing else to do other than to go and face Akbaa and try to save the world. Yeah, this is the Temple of Akbaa. So let's continue onwards and try to end it. Akbaa's rock. I have 4 such rocks. I can only presume they are used for something. Wanted to lure 2 of them together, but no such luck, I guess. Candle, okay. It might be used for some kind of a ritual. I will take that. Enchant object. Ancient gods rule the rules of the Nodden. A red dot. Candle. My Ring of General Protection. I'm pretty sure I must have those 2 godly artifacts equipped for my confrontation to work, but my beloved Akbaa, these writings are created in honor of my master and lord, Akbaa. Akbaa is the source of knowledge across the universe and all known dimensions. Establishing contact with his cult was a momentous occasion for our people, and marks the points of no return. Worship Akbaa or perish, because Akbaa is a god who also symbolizes the power of destruction of everything in the world. He knows how to reward the most loyal of his servants with great power and punishes all others without mercy. Akbaa is immortal, however he needs souls to maintain his power over the known universe. Collecting souls allows him to spread his wisdom far and wide. A good way to please Akbaa is to offer him impious souls who refuse to obey him. Although non-believers are our preferred targets, some of us are keen to enter into communion with Akbaa and offer ourselves in sacrifice. After all, death means nothing compared to an eternity of joy and spiritual enlightenment. A single day of my life, lived as a believer, is worth more than 1,000 years of life lived as an unbeliever. For thanks to Akbaa, I have seen things that have made me understand the fundamental workings of our universe, things which will be eternally out of reach of non-believers. Okay. Okay, this seems like an important door. Two-handed sword. Piece of cast metal. Okay, I will gather those because it seems to me like the game is hinting at some kind of a ritual, maybe.
I think I've damaged my tools. Not really a very successful attempt. I think I've damaged my tools. Not really a very successful attempt. There you go.
Magic plate of extra something. Bunch of life potions. Two-handed mithril helmet. I have a mithril helmet already, don't I? Oh, I guess it was destroyed? Or something? I'm pretty sure I bought a mithril helmet once and wore it for a time. Well, I'm not quite sure what's the matter with that.
There you go.
Damn, gobbler.
Wait, what? The black beast and the troll, but they're like a miniaturized version. I could open this and make them fight, but that seems kind of cruel and wrong, so I'm not going to do that. But it's still weird. Like, I'm not quite sure what's the point of that, and how do they even do that?
It's impossible.
Impossible, you say? Interesting. Iserbius's personal diary. It is important for me to leave the story of my life in these pages, for if something happens to me, it will help my successors to serve the Order's cause well. I have decided to devote my entire life to my beloved Akbaa. From the moment I've learned of his existence until I draw my final breath, I will worship him. Akbaa has given me what no man could have ever dreamed of. I still remember the blessed day I met Lord Long. It was in the year 240. Immediately We met each other's eyes. A powerful affinity between us became apparent. He was like a second father to me, and I am sure that for him, I was the son he never had. Sometime after, when I made my first real entrance to the occult, he made known to me that I should be his successor. When I was still a novice, he told me everything about the cult and about Akbaa himself. He told me that the ultimate goal of the cult was to involve Akbaa into our dimension, that he had laid the foundations to make this invocation ritual happen, but that unfortunately he could not live to see the day of its completion. Thanks to his powerful clairvoyance, he had already seen the hour of his death. He begged me to continue the preparations needed to fulfill Akbaa's grand design. When he died the following year, just as he had predicted, his prophetic words resounded in my mind, and when I had only just been accepted as a full member of the cult, I was made its high priest. This day marked my greatest grief and my greatest joy, the immeasurable grief at losing my mentor and father, and the unspeakable joy of knowing that our Lord's coming was imminent. After a long period of research, started for me then. I became closer and closer to Akbaa, as close as a mere mortal can be to a god. I saw what cannot be seen, heard things that made no sound, and felt things that no man could ever hope to feel. Akbaa gave me more and more power, some physical power of course, but also a great deal of mastery of magic arts. Akbaa is more than a god to me. He is my son, my heir, and my nourishment. He is everything to me. Thanks to his supernatural inspiration, I took the reins of the cult with an iron hand. I began by purging the cult of members that no longer served useful purpose. Unsatisfactory results now proved as dangerous to these individuals as their shoddiness was to ourselves. After this essential task had been complete, I had time to plan every aspect of Akbaa's arrival, right down to the finest detail. It was essential that our order remain completely covert until it was too late to do anything to stop us. That is when I learned that Falan Orbiplanax had guessed my true purpose and had desired to oppose Akbaa's coming with the help of the Noden. To stop the Noden from getting involved, I've made some important decisions. First, I sent an assassin to kill Orbiplanax, who had become too great of a danger. Second, I thought forward to the date of Akbaa's coming. No, I brought forward the date of Akbaa's coming. However, we did not have everything in place to invoke him. Therefore, I ordered that we step up the frequency of sacrificing non-believers by rounding them up in large numbers. Women and even children would do. I had no time to discriminate. Furthermore, I stepped up the intensity of our prayers, encouraging more and more members of the cult to give themselves in sacrifice, so that Akbaa would finally hear our prayers. Day after day, I marveled at the sum of knowledge and power that Akbaa made available to me. To my amazement, Akbaa promised to give me even more upon his arrival, and that he would leave the destiny of Arx in my hands. Okay, but it tells me nothing about how to stop him, which I guess, isn't that weird. If you're a serious supervillain, you shouldn't be writing down plans on how to stop yourself, because that's kind of pointless and potentially can lead to your downfall.
Locked.
But my point generally is that I don't quite know.
Not really a very locked.
I don't quite know.
There you go.
What to do to stop him.
There you go.
But maybe it will become apparent as I draw closer. So I'm pretty sure this must be a central chamber of some sorts, right? So let me check downstairs. Unless this is a totally different level, in which case...
Be careful with that molten metal. Don't worry. It's not the first time I've forged armor.
Is it just a regular forge?
Too sturdy for me to break.
Well, 2 keys. That's certainly useful.
Locked.
Okay, I cannot wear those because I don't have enough strength. So... it seems to be just a regular forge. Well, wait. Seemingly there should be a passage right here. I guess I will return if the big chamber proves to be nothing. There are 5 pedestals, but I only have 4 rocks of Akbaa. So am I screwed? Well, I guess let's first check if they even fit here. They do. Okay, so I'm missing one. Don't tell me I have to go to like a completely different previous location, like to the previous temple, for example, to get it. That would be kind of infuriating. Let me just quickly check the courtyard. He only had one. Like, really? Are you telling me I'm supposed to go back to the other temple and look for the missing one? Okay, if the game really expected me to carry those 4 random stones, because there was only one here, the rest I brought from before. If it really expected me to hold them through half of the game without even knowing their purpose, and now if it expects me to go back and look for that last missing one, then I cannot call bullshit. But you know what? There is still, because I picked up like a bunch of candles and stuff, and there is the chest in, what's his name? Iserbius's. Like this chest, which requires a key. So there is a candle here. I presume the candles, you know, they must have some purpose, and I presume that they're there for some kind of a ritual. But maybe I have to combine it. This skull. Okay, something has opened. Maybe now I will better notice that. Ah, okay. This has opened a small compartment with a key. And the key was for Iserbius' chest. Hopefully he has at least one Stone of Akbaa. So that I don't have to backtrack to the other temple. Indeed. Great. That's awesome. At last, the time has come. Soon my body will be host to Akbaa, and together as one, we will rule over Arx. If something bad should happen to me, I wish to leave this note so that someone else might continue my work for the good of Arx. Iserbius. Okay. But actually, this doesn't actually rescue the game from the accusation of being ridiculously cruel, because that's still only 2 stones I found here, and I needed 5, so it literally expected me to hold those 3 other ones for half of the game without even knowing their purpose. Like, sure, I assumed they are important, but that's kind of convoluted, if you ask me. Like, I could very well imagine somebody else throwing them out, because they haven't devised a use for them for like past 15 hours and they needed inventory space. But enough hypotheticals, let's end it.
You come here seconds too late. Now I can face you in combat, Guardian. I shall never return to the blade.
But you, on the other hand, have a return.
rather fast. I wonder if there's any link between his blue glow and those braziers. Like maybe I can extinguish them to make him weaker. Let's try that. Okay, it is doing something. Maybe it stops him from healing or something, because he looks like he's channeling some kind of a power. Okay, I don't quite know what's happening and why. Maybe I have to weaken him? seems to be something special about this brazier. Because it simply doesn't work. I have a feeling that he's glowing like that, he's probably invulnerable. Okay, I doubt this is doing anything. Other than ambience. Okay, I don't think this did anything. Nor was I expecting it to, because to be honest, I'm not sure what lighting torches, especially regular torches, because those seem to be just regular non-magical torches, would really accomplish. Okay, overall I'm rather confused because I don't even know if I'm hurting him. He seems to have some kind of a shield, and I thought it was linked with those blue braziers, but the last one I'm seemingly unable to, seemingly unable to extinguish that.
How did you?
What have you done? Akbaa may have been evil, but he was the only one who could bring the sun back to Arx.
Akbaa should not have tried to manifest in this dimension. He knows the rules.
Rules which you too must follow, Guardian.
Master, what do you mean?
The rules are set in stone and cannot be broken, Guardian. You were sent by the Nodin and must return there the moment your mission has been completed.
And Arx's son, was Iserbius telling the truth?
Do not worry about this phenomenon. Quite simply, it is not within the Nodin's power. Also, things may not be as you have perceived them. I know you have been through powerful experiences here, but the power you have acquired makes you too dangerous for this world. The consequence of your staying here any longer could be disastrous, and I have many other missions for you. Allow me to bring you back within our fold.
Very good, Master.
Okay, so it turns out that the frog creatures from the main menu were actually the guardians of the Nodin and the supreme power of the universe, which okay, I guess, like, sure. This is just a minor point. I was wondering about that. I thought they were the servants of the servants of the ultimate guardians of the Nodin, but not the guardians themselves. But I guess they were, because my character literally referred to that one frogman as a master, but oh well. So that was Arx Fatalis, and while the final battle was seriously underwhelming and kind of weird, because for the longest time I wasn't even sure if I was damaging him or not, so I was just, doing whatever and not even sure if it was having any effect. The game overall was great. I kind of loved that, to be honest. I am surprised how cool this game was. How many different little things I very much enjoyed about it. Because let me tell you, like, the story is nothing to write home about. It's a pretty typical story of you saving the world. And the characters weren't anything particularly fascinating. It was okay-ish. Standard fantasy story about saving the world with a little bit of a twist of this whole god police force, and you being like a god policeman sent to balance out the universe by some ultimate force of balance, and there being different universes, one of them actually being our Earth, like Zeus, for example. Greek gods were mentioned as being one of the gods regulated by the Nodon, but the story in itself wasn't anything spectacular, but it wasn't horrible. I enjoyed it for what it was. I especially enjoyed the snake priestesses and the whole deal with them, especially later when it turned out that there was this clause to the agreement that they needed the king's fourth descendant. It was kind of interesting to think about it and figure out where I stand on that. I still kind of think they were actually right, and the humans were kind of bastards to renege on this agreement that they themselves made. But the universe itself was kind of great, actually. The whole concept of the sun dying out and everyone moving underground. The whole game was actually underground, but the levels were diverse enough that I never feel bored, and all of them felt distinct enough for me to be able to discern, on which level I am and sort of what's going on there. So the whole concept of this underground civilization and the sun dying out was interesting in itself. But what was the coolest thing about this game is the sheer number of little intricate interactions you could make within the game's world, like the fact you could actually bake bread and the dough rose in real time as you laid it by the fire. It kind of blows my mind how cool that is, that you had to cook meat by laying it by the fire and it cooked in real time as well. The whole magic system was great. It was kind of clunky. The whole game was kind of clunky, in fact. It had problems reading my movements, and like 100 times probably it confused the two runes required to make a fireball, which resulted in me failing like a bajillion times. So it was definitely clunky, but the thing is, I'm one of those people who doesn't really mind. Like, some of my favorite games ever are clunky as frick. Like, they are wood personified. For example, Gothic 1 and 2, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Those are games that are mechanically flawed to a ridiculous extent, and I don't care. I just love them regardless, because of all of the other elements of it. And this game, I feel, kind of belongs to the same category for me, because I can very well see how some people might be very frustrated by this game to the point of it being unplayable for them, but it definitely wasn't for me. I had a blast. Like, in this game, you literally could buy stock and then sell it after it rose in value because of the things you did in game. Like, that's ridiculously cool. And there were dozens of those little interactions which I will probably remember for a long time. For example, with the Goblin King, where you read that he's allergic to wine, so you added wine to his pie that his cook was bringing him, and then he got sick and went to the crapper. Like, that's ridiculously cool, and I kind of love that. And there were many such things in this game, and every time I discovered that I could do something new that I wasn't expecting, every time it was interesting, every time it was rewarding, and it was immensely cool. Generally, cool is the word I would use to describe this game, because it wasn't like, mind-bendingly awesome in like the plot department. It wasn't very emotionally drawing, for example. The characters were nothing spectacular. There was no really outstanding characters outside of the snake priestesses, which I did enjoy them. But generally, the word I would use for this game is cool, because there were so many little things that, just for a player such as myself, who puts so much stock in immersion, and who put so much stock in being sort of inhabiting the world of the game. Those little things, I really loved them, and I really think I will remember this game for a long time, parts of it, elements of it, and I had a blast. Overall, I would say it is a good game, but for me specifically, it's great. It's the type of game that fits really well with what I like about games, because I'm not a person that's easily scared away by, for example, by tedious mechanics. Like, it didn't annoy me that much that you have to micro-navigate throughout all of those menus, because it added to the feeling of you accomplishing some goal step by step, you know, by actually, for example, repairing a sword, or creating a potion, or baking bread. It made it feel real-ish, as real as a game can, reasonably. If I were to say what annoyed me or what was weird, is the fact that there was no dialogue options at all. Everything the character said, he just said that. You had no choice in that, and sometimes I didn't entirely agree with his take on the conversation. I would have said something different in his steps. I mean, in his shoes. But even that actually is not that big of a deal, because in spite of there not being any actual dialogue options, there were still options in the story. Like, there were branching choices. For example, with the snake priestesses, you could ask them to enchant the item, and then you would have to betray the rebels. But if you did that yourself, you didn't have to. And then also, for example, there was the matter with the dragon. You could have fought it, or you could have talked with it and, you know, bought the dragon egg. So actually that was kind of cool in itself, how even without dialogue options, the game still managed to give you a choice. I generally loved it. I think it was very cool, and I thoroughly enjoyed playing it, and I will probably remember it for a long time. Now, I'm very tired at this point, because I wanted to finish it. I have a couple of free days off of work, so I wanted to finish the game. So I'm very tired at the moment, and it's difficult for me to structure my thoughts. So I might write a longer review, or like a summary, and if I do, it's going to be in a pinned comment underneath this video. But for now, that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!